Have you ever wanted something so badly you'd do anything to make it last forever? Especially love? Well, today's explainer is a story, a parable really, that dives deep into that very idea. It asks a pretty unsettling question. What happens when you wish for forever and you actually get it?
So, picture this. You have two young lovers, Shangmeng and Yupati, and they are all in. This is their solemn vow to each other. They believe their love is the most powerful thing in the universe, and they want it sealed for all of time. It's the kind of thing you hear in movies, right? The epic romance.
And here's the kicker. This is where the fairy tale takes a very sharp, very dark turn. The whole story hinges on this one terrifying question. What happens when the idea of being bound together forever stops being a metaphor and becomes cold, hard reality? Okay, so let's set the scene. It all starts with their wish for forever. Shangmeng and Yupati aren't just in love, they are consumed by this need for a bond that can never, ever be broken. And their passion is so intense, so loud, that it gets noticed.
A wise master, this Lao Ye, happens to overhear them making this grand promise. And he sees their desire. It's pure, sure, but it's also pretty naive. So he decides, all right, you want forever? I'll give you forever. But this isn't a gift, it's a lesson, and he's about to make their beautiful, poetic wish very, very real. Which brings us to the next chapter, the chains of love. Now, the master doesn't pull out a ring or some fancy contract. No, what he has in mind is a lot more permanent. He goes to this old, ornate, ancestral box, and what does he pull out? A heavy set of iron chains. You get the feeling these weren't just lying around. They were a fated tool kept for this exact kind of lesson. He literally chains their wrists together. And the craziest part? At first, they're over the moon. This is it. Their wish came true. But that joy, it lasted for about 5 minutes. That promise of eternal bliss immediately curdled into constant grinding irritation. Their idea of perfect unity became a prison with no way out. And that guaranteed togetherness they craved, it turned into the suffocating nightmare of forced proximity.
You know, this is a perfect example of the Rashomon effect, right? Where everyone sees the same event differently. To the lovers, these chains are the ultimate symbol of romance. But to the master, their teaching tool. He knows that real wisdom doesn't come from pretty ideas. It comes from facing the ugly reality of our own attachments.
And next up, we watch the unraveling, because that perfect love, once it's put under the physical strain of these chains, just completely falls apart. And it happens shockingly fast. I mean, just trace this path. They go from this passionate vow to just utter misery in no time at all. The very thing they believed would guarantee their happiness became the direct cause of all their pain. Every single moment is shared. Every little annoyance becomes a full-blown war. And the details are just so petty. It starts with him moving his arm, which smudges her eyebrow makeup. She gets furious. Then he accidentally spills her nail polish, and she explodes. He wants to sit and read, but she wants to go out. There is literally no escape, no personal space, not for a second. This one line says it all. It captures just how absurd and suffocating their life became. Shangmeng sneezes, the chain yanks her, and she screams at him that he needs to get her permission first. He's just stunned. How do you ask permission to sneeze? Their grand eternal love has devolved into a 24/7 battle over who controls every tiny twitch and breath. So they finally hit rock bottom. Their suffering is at a fever pitch. But the master, he's not done. He sees that they are finally ready for the last and most shocking part of the lesson. They're ready to face the truth. He returns and he offers them a gun. He calls it the key, but not the key to the chains. It's the key to the whole problem of life and death itself. He's forcing them to confront the real nature of their bond in the most extreme way possible. Is this love, or is it just mutual desperation that you can't escape? And listen to Yupati's reaction here. This is so telling. Even with a gun in her hand, she's not thinking about freedom. She's thinking about control. She demands that Shangmeng make another promise, that even if they're physically free, he'll still be emotionally chained to her forever.
And then the tragic climax. In one final, twisted act of possession, Yupati lines up their heads. She's going to kill them both with a single shot, so they can be together forever. But the old bullet, it's not strong enough. It only has the power to kill her. And Shangmeng survives, now physically chained to the corpse of the woman he swore to love for all time.
And this is where we see the master's true plan. This horrifying ordeal, it wasn't just cruelty for cruelty's sake. It was the setup for a profound spiritual practice called Bu Jingguan. Shangmeng is forced, day after day, to witness the decay of the physical body he once lusted after, until his attachment, his desire, his delusion, it's all burned away.
And this hellish experience, it doesn't lead to madness. It leads to a total and complete transformation, a new kind of freedom. Shangmeng emerges from this as someone entirely new. The contrast is just, wow. Before, he was completely trapped by his emotions, chained by this idea of love that was really just possession. Afterwards, he is totally free from that delusion. He gets what true liberty feels like. He's no longer chasing some promise of forever, because he's seen firsthand that nothing is permanent. Of course, to the outside world, this guy now looks completely insane. He's in rags, he doesn't care about normal things, but the story draws a fascinating parallel. This is exactly how figures like the Buddha must have looked to regular society when they gave everything up to search for a higher truth. And this brings us to the story's final, brilliant flip. It asks us, who's really the crazy one here? Is it Shangmeng? Or, the story suggests, is the real madness found in all of us who stubbornly cling to our illusions, chasing fleeting things and confusing our attachments with love? And so, this whole parable leaves us with one final, challenging question. It forces us to turn the spotlight on ourselves, our own relationships, our own desires. Are we chained by actual love? Or are we chained by a story we've told ourselves about what love is supposed to be? It makes you wonder, what chains are we all wearing right now, without even realizing it?